How you doing? This is Sincere from Sincere Knicks Fan 34. Just want to say thank you all. Thank you so much for everybody who's been watching. I'm just so excited for everyone being able to just look and to share. I appreciate y'all so much. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited on top of excited because I love what my Knicks are doing. A lot of people are thinking that things are going crazy right now, but there's method to the madness. I'm gonna probably title this thing, what are the next steps? Because a lot of people thinking that the Knicks are just all over the place, and that's really not the situation. They do things strategically, decently, and in order. Well, for the most part. For the most part. All right. And I like that. Decently in order is the way I like to move. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they continue with that progression moving forward. The idea right now is a lot of people were upset that um, Rasheer Fleming was not drafted. I'll be completely honest with you. I was kind of hoping he was gonna slide and no one was gonna notice him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mention him not one time. I was hoping for real was like we're gonna be able to just draft him and then be like, oh my god, like what a surprise. It wasn't gonna be a surprise by me, I promise, right? But it was clear that Fleming was the best draft pick to go for, so he got drafted early at 31. So I'm not heartbroken that but I was really quietly hoping was like, yeah, I'm hoping the Knicks go and pick him up on the cheap. We got Diawara, and I'm not mad about that. I'm pretty happy and content with it because number one, he's young. He's very very young, so he has time to develop. He has time to grow. He has time to develop new skills. He already has great measurables. So he's what 6'8", 6'9", and he has like a 7+ foot wingspan. So he's already in a very very good position in terms of overall physique. And the potential's there for him to continue to grow physically and, as I said, like in terms of skills and overall development. So I like him. Who I was not expecting was Dink Pate. I was not expecting the Knicks to go and sign him. I heard some things about him. What I got was from a documentary on Netflix with Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson. So I had like a very brief look and feel for him as a player and as a person. And I don't think the Knicks went wrong with him. They got somebody who also very young. As a matter, I believe they said he's the youngest drafted player ever, ever, right, in the NBA. So there is so much, countless opportunities for him to continue to literally grow and develop. He is insanely athletic. So is Diawara. They both are very similar in terms of height, wingspan. They both have a defensive. They have defensive instincts, and I like the idea that we're still moving in a defensive direction. So for me, that's a very good sign. When I'm looking at them, I said it before that I said don't be surprised if McCullough gets traded because I was thinking that the Knicks was going to try to go younger, taller, more athletic, and I was thinking that McCullough would have probably been somebody who they might try to trade to help get even further under the cap so that they can go and continue to let guys, develop in the G League and maybe have some spot minutes here and there, maybe have on a couple two ways. So that's what I was thinking Knicks was trying to do, especially when we have a person like Beauchamp who, he's a little bit older and he's a little bit more, I guess you could say, NBA proven. So I was kind of thinking that the Knicks was going to try to rock with him, like at least for this year, and kind of see where he's at if he helps this team to win. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking that the Knicks was probably going to trade McCullough and try to get these younger guys so they can kind of develop and they can kind of take their own time and it's not the pressure to deliver now. Also, from a standpoint, I was thinking McCullough might be on the trade block because he's older. Because he's older, there's only but so much upside that he can probably bring. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll be the first one to admit, Are there players that can still have an upside that I just didn't see? It's possible. It's possible. I'll admit that. I just don't know if he's really going to be that person. I've liked what I've seen so far, but in my personal opinion, I was really thinking that the Knicks was going to get like the guys that they selected, people who were younger, taller, more athletic, longer wingspans, and had more time to develop. So I like that they actually kind of kept McCullough. Actually, I just found out. I just found out just before I recorded that McCullough had just been given a new contract. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool. And Huck Porty, you know what I'm saying? So they went and extended their team option for him. I believe it was a team option. And so very cheap talent, you know, very affordable talent. And it is clearly talent. Athletically, size-wise, Huck Porty, you know, McCullough, Diawara, Pate, all these guys, you know, they really check a lot of boxes when we're looking at future talent. And we're not even talking about Dadier. I was kind of wondering if Dadier would be able to stick around too, but I had more of a feeling that McCullough would have been the guy, the odd one out, because he was older. You know what I'm saying? If Dottie, if it was if the shoe was on the other foot, if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd have probably thought the same thing. If Dottie was McCullough's age, I would have probably thought that would have been the situation. But that's just my opinion. That's my observation. Because they're trying to stay under the apron. You know what I'm saying? The second apron. They're at least, I believe they're trying to stay under the second apron to have more flexibility. So they already got Dink Pate. They already have Diawara. We're going to find out what happens with James Nagy. We're going to see, you know, we're going to see what he's going to be able to bring to the table. And I actually appreciate that they have not traded Mitchell Robinson or Mikal Bridges, right? Because Mitchell Robinson can now mentor James Nagy, you know, and you know, whether he turns into a Mitchell Robinson 2.0 or maybe even a little bit better, who knows? We'll see. Only time will tell. But Huck Porty has already demonstrated he has a little something. He can be a contributor now. You know what I'm saying? He's been a contributor a little bit for last season. So we're gonna get a better idea of what he's able to bring this upcoming season. Now, I am going to say this, and some of y'all Knicks fans, Knicks Nation, y'all probably not going to like what I got to say. But there is a possibility that Tom Thibodeau was kind of protecting our younger guys. And what I mean by that is, you know, like a lot of people criticize him for playing his starters a lot of minutes. But the thing is, if you have a player, even if they have immense talent, if they still haven't figured out whether it might be the speed of the game or where to be on the floor or how to read offenses or defenses, you know, that could not only ruin a player's confidence, that could also be a situation where that player might even lose value. You know, if you want to trade him and give him another opportunity elsewhere. These are things that people haven't thought about when it comes to Tom Thibodeau. A lot of people just think that he is not going to play rookies at all. And yes, I'm one of those people that have said Tom Thibodeau don't play rookies. I'm the first one to tell you that he doesn't do that. But he's also demonstrated that if you are a hard worker and you're consistent and you show that you can benefit him in terms of wins, oh, he'll play you. Oh, he'll definitely play you. I only say this because now that we're moving forward, we have players that have, as I said, we've seen Kolek, and we've seen some of the flashes of things that he can do. We've seen some things with Dadier. To be honest, I'd like to see him do some more things, and hopefully he'll be able to demonstrate that both in Summer League and in this upcoming season. And I'd like to see what these other guys are able to do. Like I said, I just threw that out there because a lot of people are so quick to judge and say, "Oh, Tom Thibodeau never plays his younger guys," but I think it's also something that he does because he wants people to learn their roles, learn how to play at an NBA level, and the idea is if they pick it up and they're demonstrating that toughness, that consistency, that availability, then he can rock with you because he did that with Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride didn't start, but the thing that he was able to put his hat on was defense, effort. He was a pest from day one, and he loved that. Even Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes became a starter. He didn't come right off the rip as a starter, but he demonstrated the consistency on the defensive end, and he was able to work his way into a rotational piece, situation. Now, I'm making this connection moving forward to the next steps and I'm gonna wrap this up because the reality is this: right now we don't have a coach. The next steps are going to be that we're going to go into summer league. We already have our coaches that are under contract. We can go and continue to rock with them at least throughout the summer league, get that thing going, and just focus on defense and use the different schemes that we've had offensively from last season and kind of make the adjustments of where people are in terms of what we can to improve. And the idea is whoever might be a prospective coach during summer league, they get to watch these players and see what talents and what potential they have. So whether they're there physically or whether they're there watching on television, that could be something that could be really, really cool, for those who really might take the position very seriously. So I can definitely see that as something that can unfold. Also, a lot of people are questioning all the Knicks looking at these different coaches. This is my theory. And if you want to debate the theory, that's cool. Put it in the comments. Let's make this thing happen, okay? I'm thinking that the Knicks are going through all these different coaches, not because they're confused, but to be honest, there's a little bit of politics involved in the NBA. It looks a certain way if you only take in a certain number of coaches and you don't at least give a few other coaches opportunities to have an interview. That can hurt your franchise in the future. Not just in terms of coaching candidates, but many of these coaches have connections to other sports agents. So when it comes to, selecting someone, you want to be mindful that you don't want to burn bridges with not just coaches, but also agents. These different agencies take things very personally, so that's something to keep in mind as well. I do think the Knicks did have the mindset that they were going to go after Jason Kidd and go get him. And I think they were trying to play it where it's like, oh, we're looking at all these different candidates and we'll come down and see if there's any interest. That's my personal opinion. But they wanted to make it look like they were trying to cast this big net, right? Now, it seems, at least from reports, that Jason Kidd is going to stay with Dallas. We'll see. And if he does, I'm not going to get upset. I'm thinking from the standpoint of Taylor Jenkins. I've said that before. I'm still sticking with that. I like Taylor Jenkins. I do not like Mike Brown. No disrespect to the man, but I want my coach to be defensive minded. Period. So I'm thinking the mindset is you see what might be affordable in free agency, that you get the young guys out there, see what you got, and if they don't stick, they don't stick. But at least what you had was affordable. So you can move forward, and whatever maneuvers you need to make in the future, you can. You give opportunity to really sit down and get down with the team and see what you can work with in terms of coaches, who you can bring in, and what their plans are with the team, with the current talent, or even future talent that we might have, and we go from there. All right? So with that being said, I'm thinking that the Knicks are going to be very successful this upcoming season. I think that the talent that we're going to have is going to be still very, very good because they're not starting. They're going to be either a second unit or third unit, and they're going to be focused on the defensive end, and they have the tools to be helpful and disruptive against opposing teams for second and third units. So with that, I think that could be a good look, and it can be effective. With all those things being said, I'm going to wrap it up here. So the thing is, please subscribe, please like, please share. Let's continue building this thing. All right. Appreciate everybody. Let's keep this thing going. And like any other time, let's get it. Let's go, Knicks. Talk to y'all later.